What is up? This is going to be a trade review for January 8th, 2020. Had 2 down days, and then this was my only up day of the week, actually. This is for Thursday. I'm reviewing this on Friday, which once you see Friday, you're going to shit your pants. But anyways, that's a whole nother video. Let's jump into these trades. It's 11 trades, I believe. It doesn't matter. The first one was really good. Didn't go against me at all. Went my favorite 12, and this was right on the open. 831. It's a long. All these are 2 contracts. You can see I did throw a few 3 contracts in. So let's just jump into the first one. So this is going to be, this is the open. As you can see, we were kind of just bouncing around here. And then we took out a crap load of, looked like there's a lot of liquidity here, a lot of size sitting there. I got taken out. Naturally, it just shoved it down. Now we're kind of building a little bell curve here, a little profile. Now you got to see that the market did, hold on real quick. The market did trade down here in the overnight session. So what you're seeing here has already been in place. I'm trying to remember exactly where I take this trade because I don't quite remember. So it looks like there's size stepping up at 36 even. You can see some aggressive buying on the tape. We got the 114.99 and 165. So I'm patiently waiting here. Oh, this is a long. Okay, so now we're back in here into this bigger volume area. So I decided to go long right here. And there it goes. She gets tagged. Trying to recall why I went long here. Well, the thing is, when we came back up here, because I'm kind of analyzing this right now. So when we came back up to here to 32, 39, 25, this was sort of an area that was really hard to get through. We went through and we immediately turned around. No aggressive sellers. I mean, you can see there was aggressive sellers, but that wasn't on this move up, on this complete, just absolute turn on a dime reversal. We're coming back up. So I go for here on the slightly higher node. Barely get the fill on that second contract, and it just goes. And then you could see I just got out right there on the first sign of struggle. It was a pretty good trade. And that was a good call to get out right there just because of how it is falling back in. So we'll watch that again. So you see the market struggling here. And the thing is, it would need to trade back and forth right here, but it's just not happening. And see how we're just ripping up with no hesitation at this point. And now you can see sizes coming in to kind of push it up. Right here to this 3-pock, that's a point of control on the 3-year composite profile, so that's sort of an area to play. But also, we're going back into this distribution zone right up here. And there's a high probability that it's going to come up in here and at least, tag one of these points of controls. We're moving with so much velocity. It's the open. This is one of those moves where I need to break even if it doesn't work out to get out, because really picking a risk zone on these opening moves is kind of, I think you have to break even on these opening trades. There's really you're just going to have to take it off. You want it to work out immediately. These are the types of trades where you can't really give it any room to breathe. Now, if the profile structure was set up in a certain way, yeah, I could maybe do that, but it is the opening. So you can see how it kind of back and forth, and that was because of this high volume edge right here on 32, 39, 75. So that just, there we go. And where's it bouncing? Right here on this other high volume edged zone. We kind of have a little back and forth. I already took it off, huh? Where do I take it off at? Let's see. Let's try to study where I take it off. Yep, right there. I take it off, kind of on that little pullback there. On these types of trades, you can't be greedy. And I know that with all the problems I've been having within the week, I have to take what I get. I can't sit there and try to let these things run. That's just not my strength, especially on the opening trades. It seems like the opening trades are where I can make money, and then I start to fuck it up throughout the day. So we'll go ahead and do the next trade, which is at 8:35. It's a 13-second short. So let me pull that up. So this one goes against me 4, goes in my favor 4. It looks like I take 2 ticks because it's at 2 lots. So let's see what happens here. So this is, right at the open. So as you can see, we've pulled back up. So on this initial move is where I got out. We pulled up. Where did we pull up to this low node? Notice all this size sitting up here. It's kind of pulling out of the way. And then, oh, look at that, 544. Let's actually see what that's about, because that looks like it comes out of nowhere. Look at all the blocks on here. It looks like we've had a lot of selling. I don't know if that was up here. Ah, there it is. It just... So let's take a step back. Always looking for large size that comes out of nowhere, because that's... There it is, right there. 571 at 43. So what they're doing here is, what it looks like to me is they throw in this side. Whoever throws in these large sizes know where the point of control is. They seem to be looking at those areas. I don't know, and this is just something that happens all the time. You'll notice they throw in size right around the VPOC, and what I think they're doing is they're temporarily holding the market down, so that way they can liquidate or get in around this particular price, because they know there's going to be a lot of transactions happening right around here. But seeing how it came out of nowhere, it just looks like it usually gets tagged. So check this out. We got 389 there. Look at these 2 on the tape, so it did get filled. They probably wanted that to get filled too, because you'll notice these large sizes often get filled. So a large seller wants out and a large buyer wants in. And notice it pulled off on this low node. So you have these two low nodes. It's going to kind of trade a little weird in here. So I'm not sure what I'm looking for on this trade. Which I'll be jumping in here in about a minute. So now we're touching that low node up here. So we banged through it by one tick. So that's a top tick turnaround is what I'm banking on. So I go short here. There it goes. It's a playbook play. You see these 115 and 144. Large buyers try to get it, but notice when you see the blocks, the market fell down. There it goes. So I'm trying to get out on the VPOC. It looks like I get out. I take maybe 2 ticks. Well, let's see that again. So this is one of these my playbook plays that I'm just trying to get a lot better at. Yeah, I take it right there. Because of that back and forth, it's the VPOC, it's bouncing. Should have held it. Let's see where it goes. Oh, yeah, it keeps going. Wait a second. It pulls back up, I believe. No, watch right here. Yeah, briefly pulls back up to where the entry would basically be, but on these moves, especially around the open like this, I gotta take what I can as fast as I can. So that's that trade. Next trade is 8:45. It's 15 seconds. It's long. We lose on this one. It's an 8 tick. It goes against me 8 and goes in my favor 1. Let's see what happened here. I basically give quite a bit back. Let's see how stupid this trade was. If it was even 44. Okay. So as you can see, we came back up in here. The profile's starting to fill in more. This is that one move where I did the top tick turnaround. Now we're kind of chopping around in here where the size was forever. I'm not sure what happens at this point. I go long, but this turns out to go against me, so. So this is on a 3-year composite high volume edge now. So that kind of makes sense why this area somewhat has all this liquidity here and why it's been kind of hard to get through it. There's the overnight high up there. So I should be jumping in here and about right on this minute because it's 8:45 right now on the clock. What do I go for? Because honestly, I'm not really seeing a play, but doing these trade reviews, Like in reality, when I watch myself do this, it's like, what am I doing? What am I looking at? Okay, I notice the size is pulling off here a little bit. Why did I do that? Yeah, I just bought it because the size pulled off, but here's the problem. This is a high volume edge. You see, it's 11,273 versus 4,708. That's a huge drop off. So this is going to it's going to be very hard to get through here. Even though we're trading above it, it's still going to be a little tough to pull away from here. So it's looking good, but yeah, that's a bad sign. Yeah, that's exactly what that was. I remember this. And I bail right here. Notice this, and I pause it at just the right time. So it kind of looks like a valid play for what I did, but this shit happens every now and then. Sellers slammed it. They hit multiple levels. Notice the 142, you see 143. What they did was they hit the drop the bid button 4 times. And you know what's funny is today's Friday, this is Thursday. I actually saw this exact same thing happen on the tape. So 4 times at the VPOC, meaning somebody threw in 4 block orders. It almost looked just like this. I wonder if this is the same trader. I'm going to write down these block numbers. Well, he was pressing lift the ass, so it's not going to be the same. But 142, 143 is the same. 192, 192, 235, 235, 167. It says 312. But what they did was they hit lift the bid or drop the bid. Going the other way would be lift the ask. So they hit it. They intentionally try to clear out all these levels to keep the market running. And then you can see they threw in this 556 to further hold the market down. Problem is we're on this low node. This is the high volume edge, so it's sort of, and it's going through, and it goes through by a lot. And then all of a sudden you see this 220 come out of nowhere. I decided to get out because I don't know what's going to happen, and that was very unexpected. So I can kind of see why I was going for what I was going for, just because the size was pulling off. And then that just was very unfortunate luck, to be honest with you. So let's watch that again. But the thing is, I didn't hesitate. I took it off because it got so bad so quickly. There's no point in trying to see what happens because God knows where it can go. So you can see the size is pulled off here, and we keep tapping into it, which is good. See how we're just sitting up here kind of tapping into it? That's a good sign. And notice that the bid is kind of low and they're not immediately clearing it out. So I rewound it there. So look how low the bid is, and the aggressive selling isn't quite there. See how, and then they just threw 100 right there, and it didn't really phase it. So buyers are absorbing in here, and buyers are willing to there's a gap. Buyers are willing to take it, and boom, just before you know it, that happens. That's not a good sign. You notice how I was kind of waiting because my thinking was that 500. Here it goes. So that 500, I wait because that's sitting there coming out of nowhere. It should get filled immediately. My thinking is maybe all of these contracts that slammed it down is trying to get filled here and just get out of the trade. Very well, they could be. That could be it, but then it just disappears and either they're trying to push the market down further or trying to get out of that move. I mean, you're trading that much, you don't need that many ticks for that kind of money. It does bounce off the VPOC, but you know, it just wasn't worth sitting in to find out. And that was a very smart move. So even though I lost 150 on it, it looked like a good play, but just out of nowhere that happened. And I can only trade what the market is telling me, and that was telling me it's time to get out. And it's not worth finding out what happens. Notice it kind of chops around now and sort of stays lower. But it drifts back up, but I'm not going to sit there and try to find out. So the next trade is 8:51. So these next three trades are all going to be kind of stringed together. It's a minute 33. It's a long. It goes against B5, goes in my favor too. I scratch it. Which that's interesting. Let's see what happens here. So here's where that slam down happened. We drift up. It doesn't go any further. And notice the drift up is very choppy and slow, and they take it back down. So clearly sellers are willing to defend this area. But then again, volume's really starting to bulge up here. If you look at sort of the bell curve, it's very heavy up here. So that I would say that kind of has a bullish profile, but then again, at the same time, this is a war zone, and sellers are definitely defending it here. So we're at and this is yesterday value area high. So this is where yesterday's value area high was on the profile, or the previous day, I should say. This is, again, the 3-year high volume edge, which you can see we're bouncing off of it, which also has that low node. So all that working together is just makes a solid support resistant area. So this is going to be a long that I scratch. Let's see what goes wrong here. It looks like we got two on the tape, a block here and a block there. So it looks like they're throwing fists at each other. They're kind of slugging it out. So the market's starting to wind up a little bit here. Here it goes. It's kind of going. So I decide, I don't know. I don't think this was a good play to begin with. Just looking at it, this really isn't a playbook play. I see what I'm trying to do, and this never seems to work out for me. And that's to get into position for a move early. And I'm looking for this breakout. Again, the profile is bullish. We're coming up here relatively quickly, but that doesn't mean shit. This is a high node. It's the highest node in this little area here. This is going to be the point of control, it looks like, because there's only 16,088 here. So enough's going to trade that you'll see the sand color flip up. But I'm basically trying to secure myself into a prime position. And it was kind of stupid to do, because if you look at it, notice how we kind of we have this back and forth motion right here. See this? Yes, we go above it by 2 ticks, but that's not enough evidence to take the trade. I need something more, and this, just looking at this, is just sort of a poor execution. And we're kind of making a higher low over here if you look at it. So I'm looking to get out at this low node as my risk, which it doesn't go through there, which is good. It's going to go in my favor by 2. And it's 8:52, so you notice volume's really slowing down. So here it goes. It's going to go in my favor too. The problem is I'm taking these trades where I'm so far away from my risk zone. I need to be closer to them. And this little move that it's so amateur, but this little move up is what got me to get into it. And notice the sand color blipped up. This high volume edge is still going to be a problem. I think at this point seeing how the VPOC moved up, and the volume's kind of low, I'm losing confidence in this trade. Yeah, I don't like that. I just wanted to get out of it. It just didn't. It looks like it's going to chop around in here for a while, and there's really no point in being in this. Honestly, it's not. It wasn't a good trade to begin with. It could have went terribly wrong, too, and that's a problem. If I wanted to take a shot at this, I should have leaned on this low node when it came back down here and then make this my risk. So that's only 3 ticks away, so I'm not taking a 5-tick risk again like that. There's too much risk for what am I thinking it's going to yield, you know. Let's see where it goes, though. Yeah, of course I get out of it when it rips up, huh? That's funny. Let's see that move up. Actually, I'm going to take another trade here, so... That's a tough call. Next trade, I lose 25 at 8:54. It's a long. It goes against me. 1 goes in my favor. 2. It's 12 seconds. Not sure what happens here. What I say at 8:54. So let's watch it kind of zip up. And this sucks because I got out right before this move. So the thing is, this area should hold as support now. Yep, there it goes. It's starting to clear out all of this size here. Is just pulling away. There ain't nothing here. Let's see if we can see any contracts pull off. Let's see what this 335, this 3 does. So it's 314. Let's see if it pulls. I mean, yeah, it does, but it's not significant. So we're at the overnight high. This should... So I decided to go for it. Now we got this 318 stepping up. I decided to get out of it. I don't like it. I mean, we go through by 2 ticks from the overnight high, and it's getting rejected. So the next trade at 8:55 is 3 minutes and 33 seconds. It's a long. It looks like I leave a lot of money on the table. I take 2 ticks out of it. It goes against me 1. It goes my favor 6. So let's see what I did wrong there. So now it's starting to get pinched up in here. I see that. This right here is a playbook play. I know it. I have to take it. It's the resistant flip because we got size coming in right here. I have to take it. It's my playbook play. So again, this goes on for 3 minutes and 33 seconds. We'll go ahead and let it play out because I want to see what happens. That's a good sign that we got a low node here. And again, it goes in my favorite what? 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically where the size is. So theoretically, so this is Thursday, right? I realize that I've been realizing that throughout the week, I've been I take good trades. Like if you watch the previous review where I had like all those break evens and then I lost 175, I took a lot of great trades. I just wasn't taking profit. So on Friday, I remedied it by taking half my size off on these trades after the first initial leg up. That's what I should have done right here is since I'm trading 2, I should take 1 off and then try to let the other 1 ride. And if it doesn't, at least I made something. So I'm starting to see the significance of scaling out. Again, this is my first time to really have to manage multiple contracts. And to be honest with you, I'm going to have to trade multiples to hit my goal of 5 Gs in 1 month for this S&B challenge. So notice it got rejected hardcore up there. So it's coming up again, which that's a good sign. And I'm being patient. That's great and whatnot. But and it looks good. It looks great for move up. Looking at this now, it still looks good for a move up. Look, and notice the size is kind of pulled off, it looks like. It's just like there's a severe lack of fucking buyers up here. Now you got that 424. That's great. It's on a low node. That's good. So I'm still sitting in it. It's really trying there. Some seller keeps buying everything that comes in right there. Boom. They slam it with 112. Another 100 come in. So now that size is pretty much gone. I don't like that. 203 come in. I don't like that. So that's telling me sellers are definitely trying to take a hold of the situation. They're getting more aggressive. So FYI, there's a thunderstorm right now, and if the power goes down, this video may just turn off. So I may have to do a part 2. You got a 111 coming in. That's not good. You saw 375 blipped in right there. We'll watch that again. So that's telling me once we get below here, sellers are trying to put up a layer of defense. They're getting more confident. They got this 310 here. See that right there? 318 come in. So the buyers take it. That's a good sign that I do have aggressive buyers up here. So holding this trade just does, it makes sense. But I need to take what I have and at least scale out. Because that's what works for me. And so now we're not seeing the buying I need to see, and it's kind of dropping in. I'm leaning on I'm hoping this low node holds. You see this big node building up here. So now we're tapping into that low node. That's kind of not a good sign. And see that aggressive ticking down? That's sort of the sign that right there, that's the sign that I need to get the fuck out of here and just take something off the table. Yeah, that could hold, but it doesn't. So that's not good. And we do have the size down here, which I don't think I noticed. This overnight high is holding. Let's see where this goes. So it gets pretty wild in here. So it's a lot of chop. I don't like that. I'm not going to sit in something like that. It just makes sense to take what I had and get out. I'm not the type of trader. I like my quick scalps. It works for me. You know, if you can really, like, I'm not good at big picture analysis yet. I'm trying. I'm getting a little bit better at it, but my strength is quick scalps. And I'm really liking this scaling out thing. I've only done it for one day, but it worked out really well. Let's check out the next trade at 9:03. It's going to be a long for 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Ooh, lose $100 on that one. It goes against me 5. It goes in my favor 1. So as you can, what 850 should be at 9:03. What the hell? Okay, so this is, where I got out. So it looks like I'm trying to go for this because we've just been sitting up here for so long. We should have at least a small run, but then again, you got that 323 there. We should at least have a small run, in my theory, to 406 at the 49 even. So this is it's a long. Turns out I get crapped on. Breakout trades I'm very hesitant about breakouts because they just seem to shit all over me most of the time. Yeah, sometimes I can knock out a really good one, but if I could identify if there's a bunch of stops in that area, that would be great. Yeah, 48's really holding. I wonder if it's a significant level on the profile if I was to look at multiple days. or if we're in all-time highs. I don't recall if this is a day where we're trading all-time highs. Actually, if we were, there would be a little thing like this, so... Here's the problem. What I don't think I'm seeing clearly is there's this high volume edge between these two. So I attempt to go for it without buying the actual top. Really, you can see I'm covering 47, so I have my risk picked out. So it's good to see that I'm getting better at picking risk. That's not good. So at this point, it's about time to get out. But then again, this could be a top tick turnover on the reverse. Notice how it held. Still got this 200, this little stubborn right there. It's looking good for a breakout, but you're not going to really break out. There's that 300 is sitting here at the 48.50. That's going to be an issue. And there's no velocity. You can see I'm like throwing out a target, but does that mean I'm going to get it? No. Now it's starting to pump up. It's flexing 300. But it's going to do that when it pulls away. See how we're getting closer and it's starting to pull off a little bit. Just like it's something you got to get used to. So again, this one goes on for 2 minutes and 32 seconds. I get out at 9:06, so about 1 minute from now. $174 on the tape. Just very low volume now. It's just I seem to do way better in that first 30 minutes is what I'm starting to notice. Yeah, I decide that's it. I need to get out. Yeah. Because that just went pat into my risk zone. And, you know, that's what I was willing to risk. And I can't not take it off. So, quite a boring trade to watch. Let's see what. Yeah, you can see I'm covering it. Yeah, it's time to get out. You look, I placed that. I ain't seeing shit come back. This 129 you see on the tape, you see 129 there. They totally cleared out that fucking. I had to take it for one more tick because there's no way I was get the fill. Clearly, buyers aren't attempting to do shit. It probably bounces back up. This looks like it could be a top tick turnover. Yeah, it does. Of course it fucking bounces up, right? But it keeps sinking in, and, you know, it could very well keep going. So you don't know these things. So I had to take it off. Which that was at 9:03. The next trade. Let me load this deal up. 9:02. 9:09. Okay. So this is 2 minutes and 22 seconds. It's a short. Looks like this is starting to do 3. So for this entire week, I gotta scale up. I can't trade 2 lots. I have to trade more to complete this challenge in a month. And so I go for 3. I lose 1 tick on it. It goes against me. 3 goes in my favor 2. Let's see what happens. You can see that this is shortly after that 1 trade. This is where it drops in and it bounces, and now it's making a lower high here. So that's kind of a sign it's rolling over. Look at the 1 minute stochastic. Everybody's overbought. Oh man, my eyes are itching like hell from these allergies. So we got 2 on the tape, 100s. Just a lot of transactions happening up here. So looking at these block orders in this zone can be a little difficult to really know what's going on. You really have to look for a particular key level before it really starts to become significant. Because at this point, they're just making transactions at this area. This is fair market value. This is what the market deems as fair. And oh my god, that was stupid. I just buy a fucking low. I buy what could be a top tick turnover. Or I sell, I'm sorry. That was dumb. I know this level was holding, I just go for it. But it was making lower highs. I'm probably at this point thinking, this is the rollover. It's so heavily defended. We're going to at least come back to the VPOC down here. You can see I'm trying to front run it. Somebody threw in 139 right there. It just doesn't. It's not a worthwhile trade. That's for sure. And then again, my risk would have to be 47. I'm just too far from it. That was a dumb trade. Altogether, that was just impulsive. And quite frankly, I really see no reason to even be playing this area. Yeah, to get through here and to get down there, I could see that, but you can see I picked out my risk. And I'm risking 3 for something that just doesn't seem like a good trade. There we go. It's great. It's just so much chop in here. But some of my really good trades I have to sit in for a very long time, and I'm just trying to figure out what are those trades. Because the best trade of the day is an 8-minute trade. So, I decide that I'm going to try to get the fuck out right there. It looks like I paid up. So the next trade, we start to make money, which is great. 912. make a tick off. Wow. Ooh. Wow. Again, I leave a crap load of money on the table. 4 minutes and 35-second long. I take one tick. It goes against me 1. It goes in my favor 10. Fuck. So I need to do a playbook on this shit. Jesus. What did I do wrong here? So it's 9:12 right now. So I literally just got out of that one trade. Because I just wasn't feeling it. I'm like, ugh, this fucking reeks of reversal. Buyers are clearly wanting to take it at this point. Look at it, how it's just going up. So I get in on this point of control, this higher node. I know that I have a higher chance of getting out of it because it's more popular. This trade just works out so good, doesn't it? It's going to break this level, and it's just going to fucking... Such a good trade. Also, this is sort of a distribution curve. You can't see it. But if I was to take my point of control, and which is this one, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we add 8 to the point of control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at 49.50, if we were to mirror image this bell curve, because it's only half, it would go up to here. Quite a bit of velocity coming up in here. Sellers just didn't even try. They're not here. They're not present. There it goes. So it's going to go in my favor. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, that's funny. I think I remember this trade. So theoretically right here I should take 2 off out of the 3. Here we go again, building that random higher node. Got the low node, that's kind of good. So this one's going to play out for a little while. It looks like I'm going to get out at 9:17 and it's 9:13. So we got about 4 minutes. So we're going to watch the whole deal play out. Man, scratching that, taking a 1-tick loss on that one trade and then going into this one without hesitation was really a good transitional play. So notice it's sort of a showdown now. Nothing really, not much is happening, and then all of a sudden that happened. So what happens is the volume slows up, and then somebody's going to violently hit the other side. So you have to be wary when that happens. It'd be one thing if I was in the trade up here, but I know I got prime positioning. This is something I want. Look at that. Aggressive attacking. All these blocks. I wish they didn't turn white. Would like them to be. But that just means we're testing new highs on the profile. But I don't really need to know that because I know that. So it never gets my target. It literally taps in right below my target. So that's why I'm saying I should have took 2 off there. You know, where it struggled right here. So, you know, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ticks on 2. So what is that? 5 ticks on 2. So that could have been 125 right there. And then, you know, I would have held 1 to see what happens. Ideally, I'd like to do 4 on something like this. Take 2 off and hold 2 and see what happens. Yeah, only 22 even tap into there. But, you know, I have 400 here. It's gone now, but let's see. Look at this. Where the fuck is it? Is it already gone? There it is, right there on that high node. But watch it just disappear. See, it's just gone. Half of it's gone. So I don't know if that's a spoof or they're just getting the fuck out of the way. Unless there's massive absorption here. Notice that price drops in now where that higher... It's like they keep moving it down. Like they pull it off and move it down. So I don't know if they're trying, if this is the sellers trying to liquidate or if their sellers are trying to get in and they're spoofing here. So I'm hoping it bounces here. It's looking like this is going to be the new VPOC as well. Whoa, I immediately reverse it. So again, like I said, if you take this, where we tested down here, this is theoretically a new distribution zone, a new bell curve. What did I say? If you add 8, where will it go? Somewhere right about here. So if you mirror image off the point of control, and generally that's how you find that's how market balance is figured out. So if you're looking at a daily profile, you can kind of tell if it's bullish or biased, a bullish or bearish biased by the way it's shaped. And depending on what it looks like, you can sort of flip it like that, kind of do a mirror image and kind of figure out where the projection of how far it will go once it breaches the high or low will be. So it looks like I take 1 tick. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I take 1 tick off it because it's 3. So, and then it looks like I immediately reverse it for what, 2 ticks? It goes against me 2, goes in my favor 3. So it's an immediate reversal. And it just didn't rip up right up here also. It was struggling so much. And when it was struggling forever right here, that just... You really think there's going to be all these stop orders there? No. Sellers know they can defend this area. So it's going to be defended. It's going to be harder to get through here. And you'll have these breakouts where it only goes a few ticks. And, of course, it fell in relatively quickly just because buyers are putting stops right there. And this is an auctioning process happening right here. So I immediately, so I got out there and then I clicked down here and reverse it. Let's see that again. So I take a 1-tick win right here. Watch the mouse. You know, it's one thing leaving all that money on. That's why I just, and then I get in right here. I know at this point, at this point it's going to go down. I think it's kind of a little stupid because it could hold here. It looks like it's going to fucking hold here now. Now you got 300 gone. This block came in. But there's so much selling pressure. And also, actually, it's not a bad move. Let me rephrase that. If you've been watching these videos, this is the zigzag I'm talking about. It's harder to see because the bell curve's not fully formed, but it's there and I can see it. So you have an extreme test of the low, rejection, and we test high. Rejection, and when that happens, it's either going to come back and test the low again, or it's going to bounce off the VPOC, and it's gone through the VPOC. So there's a high probability that it's going to either turn around right here, or it's going to come down and test slightly lower low, maybe not by that much, and then reverse, or it's going to break out. So one of three scenarios can happen. So it can make a higher low, and it could be right about here. So this is a problem, this 266 right here. Also, this is a high volume edge. So it's going to be a little more difficult to get through there. I know that. But it's also kind of a good entry in the sense that I'm only going to risk probably to 47.50. So my risk is right where I would want it to be. So theoretically, it's kind of a good reversal. You got 2 on the tape, 2 large orders. That's not good. Just got the size, but see how it's just sitting there and boom, 125 comes in. And those 2 blocks didn't really even lift it. Again, it's a high volume edge. It's going to be a little more difficult. It's also a big node, so it's a little magnetic right now. We'll see how well it holds. You got 116 on the block, but I mean buyers are absorbing it. The good thing about trading, though, is I've become a lot more patient with these trades, doing this for so long now. Looks like I'm trying to front run this higher area here, this higher price. There we go. We clear it. That's good. No, it's back. How long does this go on? It ends at, it's 9:19. This goes to 9:19, so we're about to get out of it. So we're checking this area, 46.50. Boom, that's good. Look at that. That's what I like to see. They're obviously sellers are really trying, then buyers immediately fight back. So I had enough of it at this point. I just had enough. This just is so fucking choppy. This is kind of building a higher volume edge. It's not that great. And also, this is the overnight high. This is sort of a line in the sand that seems like it's holding. Does it go? Nope. Bounces. So, I mean, Getting out of there was a good thing. It just didn't feel good. Yeah, it bounces and comes back through, but I mean, that would have tagged my risk zone and I would have been out regardless. I may have held it, but it's just not worth it. When it's doing what it's doing, I need to see it happen a little quicker. So then, yeah, so we lose $100. What is this? At 9:23. So goes against me. 5 goes in my favor. 1. It's 20 seconds. It's a long. So why do I take this? So I'm not sure why I take this. This just doesn't even seem like it's good to even take a play right now. It doesn't. I think I reverse it into the good trade too. Yeah, this is going to be a reversal, an immediate reversal. So I take a loss for an immediate reversal. So this final trade, we'll go ahead and look at it. It's 8 minutes and 53 seconds. It's a short. It goes against me 5, which sucks. But then it goes in my favor 11. So these two trades are stringed together. Even though I made that much on that final trade, which put me in profits, because before that final trade, I wasn't in profits. I think, was it even good? Even a good trade? Was it even? Does it even make sense? Even maybe I just got lucky. We'll see what happens. So I mean, the tape is red. That's good. Ooh, look at that. Right here. Basically, everything they threw to push the market down immediately got bought back up. Wow, there we go again. And I go long here? Why did... Oh, because I'm thinking it's a top tick turnaround. Dude, that's so stupid. I should never go long here. Clearly, sellers are fucking pretty aggressive right here. This is not the time and place to take a fucking long. Oh, this hurts to watch. It only goes in my favor by 1. Ooh, fuck. That was stupid trade. Stupid trade. There we go. There's the fucking out, and then I'm going to reverse it. Yeah. After what you saw, that aggressive, so all 3 of these came together, and then a buyer tried to bring it back up, and then all 4 of these came together. That's a clear sign, especially at the bottom of this bell curve, even though it never filled in up there. That's a clear sign we're going to break down to the next distribution zone. Even though this distribution zone looks like absolute dog shit. Like it doesn't have a good shape. Oh yeah, 700 coming in. So it looks like I go short. I think what I do is I go short against this 577. Yeah. I want to see it get tapped. It came out of nowhere, and it looks like it's going to get tapped. See how it's just sitting on it? Watch. Let's see if some blocks come in on it. Yep. So you see I went for it. And this is, again, we're looking at this big ass trade here, which it's only 11 ticks, but it's on 3 cars. So this thing's going to roll out for a little while. Let's see what happens. So definitely, I want to see it go in the money before I fast forward it. The risk zone's going to have to be 45.75 because it's a higher volume edge. Ideally, you know, I would want this higher node to sort of hold, and it's kind of being magnetic right now, which is good. So it's trading on the other side of it. I don't like that, but it's blipping between both sides of this higher node, so that's kind of good. So let's see what happens. Yeah, now it's just sinking. It's in the money. It doesn't go against me anymore. I believe it doesn't. Yeah. So that's good. So notice we're kind of in the money. This 500 comes out of nowhere. Let's see how that reacts. Let's watch that. So the size is going to come in. It's defending this low node. Again, this is the high volume edge, so this is going to be a problem. This is a 3-year high volume edge. Look at that right there. I mean, actually, it's 2 ticks above, but it's coming out of nowhere, so, I mean, that's just begging to get hit. The VPOC pulled down. Interesting. Let's see if some significant size comes in to whack it. Or if it cancels off. If it cancels off, that's kind of like a spoof. So see how it's sitting on it. And this is what fools new traders. You're like, oh, big bid, it's going to go up. No. If it's been there for a long time, yeah, it's going to hold, but it just came out of nowhere, so it's not serious. They're doing it just to manipulate the market in this zone. So, again, let's see what happens on the tape right here for this. And I exit at 9:33. It's 9:27, so we still have some time. Yeah, I mean, 477 come into it, but it's not like it's smaller orders. So let's go forward a bit. You got all the size coming in, defending the area. So this is sort of a bigger distribution zone. You can see this bell curve's very long and extended, and you can see I'm putting my target here. It's going to go a little bit further. It's a bigger, wider bell curve, and I know it's not a perfect bell curve. It's all fucked up right here, but if you look at it from here down, it has that shape where it tapers off. This is going to be a problem zone, though. I know it is, especially with this higher node here at 4250. So it's going to be very turbulent in here, and this high volume edge is going to hold. It's going to chop around a little bit. Throwing out targets in front of this node. I don't know why that one's there. Probably because there was size there, but you can't see it anymore. Oh, yeah, I remember this. This is why I need to scale out. I should have scaled out right around here. Watch this. This kind of scared the shit out of me, but I got lucky on it. So it looks good. It looks good for a push down. Looks great, right? Look at this. Watch this shit. It's just climbing. And it's not climbing on blocks either. There's a block. I'm like, all right, hopefully it bounces off the VPOC. You can see I'm covering the VPOC. Goes through the VPOC. I'm like, all right, maybe that, that's it. It'll be kind of a little turnover here. We got size defending this zone. All the way up to my fucking price, leaving all that on the table. I should have took it off at this higher node, some of it. But you know what? I get lucky. Because literally it looks like 6 contracts traded in, and then it goes back fucking down. Quite rapidly, actually, because it's 9:32, and I'm about to pick up 11 ticks. I got so fucking lucky. I may have not gotten lucky, and I may have been left all that money on the table. I mean, I know that's why I have to scale out of these things. And the way it was just climbing up, look at it, just climbing down just as fast as it climbed up. You'll see that happen. It'll climb in one direction and then climb back just as quickly. So at this point, I'm like, shit. I'm considering, fuck it, I'm out. We're right up on where that big node is. Yeah, I get a little bit. Oh, no. Wait, do I take it off right here? Yeah, I had enough, and this could be a top tick turnover right here. But look at that. I bet it drops the fuck in, huh? Oops. Oh, I'm done. I immediately shut the fucking computer off. So I don't know what happens at that point. I'm like, I'm done. That was 11 trades. I kind of don't like that, and the fact that was the trade that got me in the money. 375, 350 was doing great, but I may have left all that money on the table. I can't do that. This would have been a way better day, and a lot of these days out of the week would have been way better if I would have just fucking scaled out. And I'm starting to see that trading multiple contracts is actually better than one, because you could have the ability to scale out. And if that move is going to fucking continue, you at least get something more. If it doesn't, then you're not taking a fucking break even or a loss or a small win. You at least took something. So scaling makes so much sense now that I look at it. I used to be like, why would you do that? Now I get it. So you're learning, I'm learning.